Fall afresh on me. That's what we were hearing this morning from one of our awesome worship musicians, Kristen Giffen, on her piano. And welcome to 7 Minutes with the Savior. Randy Fry, pastor at Gower Christian Church, coming to you from Studio 2 Bravo in the massive Gower Christian Church media complex. And sure glad that you're joining me this morning. I've had one of those mornings when you do this 2 or 3 times a week. Sometimes you struggle to find a topic today, so a little bit of a stream of consciousness thing going on here, just what the Lord has been showing me through the scriptures the last couple of days. This Sunday we're going to be talking about calling. And so many of you who watch have some role in church. You're helping in church in some capacity. You're a deacon or an elder or a Sunday school teacher or serving on a committee. You're serving the church. And ran across this from Paul writing to 2 Corinthians. It's a pretty well-known verse if you've been around church a lot. And he's talking about, himself in terms of his ministry. And he's evaluating himself. It's kind of a self-evaluation or self-reflection. And he talks about some of his weaknesses, and in particular, a physical ailment that he's suffering from. We don't know exactly what it was. We think it was probably really poor eyesight that really made writing especially difficult for him, which was a major part of his ministry. But he said this in 2 Corinthians chapter 12. After you're talking about talking to the Lord and asking the Lord to kind of take that thorn from him, and this is the response he discerned from the Lord himself. Paul writes, "But the Lord said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me." And that's always been an interesting verse. How does the power of Christ work through our weaknesses? And it's simply this, and it's an important lesson for anybody who serves in any capacity at a church. I think it's also important if, as a Christian business person, as a Christian parent, as a Christian volunteer, really any role we play in life, this is an important thing for us to hear. We have weaknesses. There's really nobody so well-rounded that they don't have weaknesses. And it's when we turn these weaknesses over to the Lord and ask the Lord to work through us, and especially, if you're struggling as a parent, to go to the Lord and say, look, I need your strength. I need your wisdom. I need your help. And Paul understood that even in his weaknesses, when he allowed Christ to work through him, and especially when Christ is working through him, those weaknesses became strong parts of his ministry. And I think that's a wisdom to pay attention to. Again, whether it's parenting, whether it's work, your role in the workplace, especially when you're serving the church. And that was the specific context that Paul was writing about. When we're serving the church, you may feel not adequate at times for what you have to do, or what the church is asking you to do. And these are the times when you go to the Lord and say, give me strength, Lord. I don't feel adequate. I don't feel ready. Uh, and ask for the Lord's strength. Ask for the Lord's guidance. Ask for the Lord's wisdom. And Paul found that whenever he did that, he received from the Lord what he needed. And I think that's a great thing for us to pay attention to. When we are willing to turn our lives over and our ministry over, or whatever role we're playing, parent, volunteer, business person, employee, whatever role we're playing, teacher, student, that we all feel weak in some areas. And those are the very areas where, if we allow Christ to work through us, can become areas of strength, areas of fruitful life and fruitful ministry. In Matthew 10, as Jesus was teaching his disciples about what they can expect as they go out and minister, he reminded the disciples of God's great care for them. And he said this, "Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? And not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father? But even the hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not, therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows." God has great care for us. God has a great knowledge of us, and his care for us, and the value that, how much he values us as his beloved created, beloved creatures. He promises to care for us and to give us strength when we feel weak. Those are great things to keep in mind. Coming up this weekend, ministry-wise, here at Gower Christian Church, we have men's breakfast at 7 a.m. Saturday morning in our Antioch Fellowship Center. And after that is a church work day. We're hoping a lot of the men will stick around and help with that. But, around 8 or so, if you can't make breakfast, but if you can come by for a couple hours and help with some general work around the church, just kind of sprucing it up for the fall, and we could sure use your help at 8 o'clock. Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m., worship, both in person in our sanctuary and through our live stream platforms on YouTube and Facebook. And this Sunday evening is a youth group at 6. It's going to be for our JYF, which is late elementary school kids, our middle school and high school fellowships meeting also. We've got a special project to help get ready for trunk or treat, so I hope that you'll come enjoy a meal with us and then help us get ready for trunk or treat. So that wraps it up for this morning. God bless you, and until we meet again online or in person, I bid you peace.